is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am making it. So, I guess when Andre gets back, we'll bring him in. We got first things first. We have the BIPOC Streamer Awards. Round three voting is ending tomorrow. I put a
hmm
link in post tab in YouTube channel, and it's in the Discord. So if
Right.
you have not had a chance to vote, please go ahead and vote, and make sure you get those votes in because voting does end tomorrow, the 30th. So, what you been playing, man?
Jeez. So I have a pattern I'm doing. I'll play probably like depending on what the game is, I'll do like one or two matches in Mario Kart on a knockout tour, either just online in general. Then I'll jump over to Splatoon and then jump over to Fantasy Life and get into Ruffian Riverside. So it's a bunch of stuff that I'm playing. Yeah, you dropped out again.
What the world? Okay, all right.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, look,
Oh,
look, man, stuff been happening this week. I
yeah, I told you. Your PC was like, "Hey, big dog, this ain't what I signed up for."
yeah,
Like,
it's exactly what you signed up for. Yeah.
but no, I've really been doing a juggling trick at this point because I got so much that I really want to make sure I stay consistent with everything that I'm playing. So, like I said, I'll just stay, like, say for example, I'll go and jump and do like 2 or 3 ranked matches in Splatoon. Then I'll go and jump on Ruffian the Riverside, play a little bit of Yakuza or Sonic, and so I've just kind of been juggling like that. So I've been playing a little bit of everything. Ironically, something that may get jumped in after I played a little bit of Lego today was Fortnite. That's actually interesting game mode, and then also they have like this racing game. It's like rocket racing, and it's solid. It's really a solid game. So when I turned it on, the first thing it kicked him out again. I told him his PC don't want it. He don't want to work today. But whenever I turned it on, my kids, like, I noticed it looks just like they Roblox setup, which is so weird. I told you this computer don't want to work. But if you look at it, it looks like Roblox. So it's like so many different types of games, and it looks like things that people can create, and they're one and the same. It seems it's just Fortnite's a little bit more polished and it's not blocky. You can buy actual characters, and that's what blew my mind. Of like, oh, okay, there should be no more guy in tank top and brown pants. Like, now there's Bruno Mars and Chun Li and Ryu's running around and Goku's. It's so weird, man. But yeah, that's what I've been playing before you get kicked out again.
Yeah, like you dropped again. God dang. Andre, what you been playing, man?
I somehow got inspired to play a Castlevania Aria of Sorrow,
Oh,
and
okay.
this time I decided to 100% the game, get 100% of the map, all of the souls, and it took me roughly 12 hours to do.
Wow.
And before I even got the Soul Eater ring, I had 71% of the souls in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just constantly grinded to get them. Every time I saw a new enemy, I just grinded until I got it.
Oh,
Okay.
That makes sense. All right, me personally, if y'all been watching my Twitter and my Instagram, I've been playing Breath of the Wild. Them Zelda notes got me
I saw
tripping.
that.
Zelda notes got me tripping.
I was like, oh, he on Zelda heavy. I see.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going back to re-experience this.
First of all, I will be 100% honest. I had no intention of replaying Breath of the Wild. I only looked at it because I'm like, all right, let me see what the upgrade.
Dang. They did it again.
Hey. Oh,
Right in the middle of his statement. Is he sure it's not StreamYard just disliking him right now, or is it just his computer in general?
I have no idea, because before we got started, it did it to both of us.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what's going on.
So, but yeah, I had no intention of doing another playthrough, but I wanted to see what the Switch upgrade did, and I've been playing for the last.
You got stuck, didn't you?
Yeah. So
he got duped.
Yeah. So I've been playing that and Doom: The Dark Ages And I've been playing Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. It's not a bad game. I don't know where all this haterade came for City of the Wolves. It's actually not a bad fighter.
I think the hate came from the soccer, not the soccer player, that
DJ.
music dude, the DJ. Yeah, that's where the hate came. Because everybody was up for the game. They were a little iffy on the soccer player, Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, but it's Ronaldo, and he is a fan.
Yeah.
So he is a fan. So I'm like, bro, I ain't even tripping off that. I'm like, whatever. I didn't even know who that DJ was.
Yeah,
I never heard of him before.
I had never heard of him before.
Yeah, but
I would straight up been okay if they would have done Maximilian Dude. I'd have been all right.
Yeah, because at least we know.
Oh yeah, that'd be
dope.
dope.
Who he is.
Yeah,
we know who he is, but I'm like, well, I don't know who this DJ is because if he's one of those DJs that do those, like,
they don't want him talking
at all.
Being stopped.
I don't know who he pissed off, but hey,
getting what Google used to do to me.
my damn day, in my day.
Yeah, you might have to announce some topics and then let it rock. All
right, so here's what we're gonna do, right? Because I'm finna check some stuff right quick. So we're gonna do thoughts on the Capcom Spotlight presentation, and then Double Dragon Revive. So if I get kicked out one more time, I know I'm plugged straight in. I'm just gonna have to finagle some stuff.
Okay.
First things first, that Capcom, I completely forgot about that. So that's why we didn't do a live reaction. I forgot.
But they don't ever go all out and say anything about them either. Yeah. So it's they don't care. Like, they really don't.
I mean, they showed a little bit of pragmata, but it's the same thing we saw at Summer Games. Mm-hmm. They spent way too much time on Monster Hunter Wilds. And I love Lugia Crush, but not that much.
No, not that much at all. Like, to me, I looked at it, I was like, oh, he's back. Cool. Like, I don't care. I really don't.
We didn't need 12 minutes of y'all talking. I didn't. Resident Evil Requiem, to be honest, okay.
Yeah, it's there. If you love it, you love it. That's
So that's my thoughts on. I thought it was just I just thought it was right.
So I've basically seen it without actually seeing it because I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, you've seen it already. Like I said, the newest thing out of this really was Street Fighter's Year 3.
Yeah, Sagat. That's it.
So it's Sagat.
Which they already told us about.
They told everybody he was coming. So
but here's the crazy part, though. They were just telling you again because they said they're still working, and so all they showed you were like new costumes and So it's like, hey, we're still working on it. Just wanted to give you a heads up. We're still working on it. The next video you see will be Sagat's like playthrough. But
I just want Capcom to come out and acknowledge the truth that they took apart my videos and decided to piecemeal what I said into the game.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. And if y'all would actually stop dogging my boy Sean and give him back his mini game that you gave to a random NPC.
Right.
Just bring him back.
Like my problem is y'all gave Jamie his color palette, then put Jamie in his slot. Goddamn, they did it to him again.
Hey, he gonna be like that all night.
They gave Jamie his color palette, then put Jamie into his slot. Then they gave Luke Alex's position, and freaking Kimberly took Sakura's position.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here like I literally laid it out, and then I look at these characters. I was like, the similarities are freaking ridiculous. And even worse is Luke got Sean's freaking Dragon Smash, even though his uppercut looks lazy as hell.
Yeah.
But when he does his extra version of it, he does the downward punch. That's Sean's thing. No other character in Street Fighter did that. I was like, how you gonna steal my man's Dragon Punch? Give it to the fake Alex reject.
Hey.
And then had Jamie take his color palette and skin color.
Well, the thing is, it's like, why wouldn't he be in this game? If, like, to me, I feel like he's a key character, but I mean, why would he not be in his game?
But then you have Ken mention him, and when Ken mentions him, it's like Sean basically left Ken alone because Ken was on the downward spiral.
Right.
But even though I didn't like how they designed Ken, once you get into seeing what his actual story is, it makes sense. So it's not that Ken is broke. He's still rich.
Yeah.
but he got a hit out basically on his head, so he laying low.
Oh yeah, he definitely looked like he laying low. Like he laying all the way low.
Right around the corner from his building though. like, bro, you 2 streets down.
Yeah.
You could walk down there and say hello to your son with the hood on,
right,
and keep it moving. Like, you gonna send me to protect your son? You could have done it. You right there. Like, you right there, man.
Yeah, man. But I don't know. Like, Street Fighter is holding strong. It makes me wonder though, with them doing like a year 3 for Street Fighter, and I'm pretty sure that there may be a year 4. What happened?
Year 4.
What happened to Mortal Kombat for them to tap out this early?
Because
I would imagine Tekken's about to get some stuff too, because they just announced that Tekken's going to get some information at that presentation.
I'm with Mortal Kombat. I'm going to guess either their sales aren't where they want them to be, or they're planning something big that they had to put a stop to everything for.
It's got to be amazing. I don't know what, unless they got like a nasty contract for them to do, like, instead of doing the whole DC, and they went the Marvel route. That
I don't know if Marvel would do that though.
Probably not. But but I mean, for you to shut it down out of all the fighters, you're the one that tapped out early, and I'm like,
and they had momentum, so I don't know.
So I don't know, but yeah, this Capcom showcase, it was here. It came and it went. I don't know what else, but also there's also like word too that Monster Hunter Wilds is not doing too hot. I don't know how true it is, but I don't see a lot of traction for Wilds.
Didn't they lose like a bunch of their player base? Like after the game came out?
Yeah, I mean, because it ran bad. Like because we had this conversation before the game dropped, and when they were showing it, it was running bad. And it seems like I don't know who or what they were coding this thing for, but it couldn't have been anything that's out because it don't run well. It just don't.
I thought it was just gonna take what they did in Rise and just
and they did
build on it.
They quite obviously did not.
And then we didn't even get like a free upgrade for Rise, because that would have been easy, because Rise runs at 60 on everything else but the Switch. But that would have been a nice little, hey, if you still doing your thing, because they constantly got Rise and Sunbreak on sale. I think it's on sale right now for $18.
Yeah.
So like, so
I think I ended up getting it for 10 at one point because Capcom had dropped it that low.
That's
for
nasty.
Both of them.
That's nasty.
They got this man in jail every time he tried to speak. Give us the phone. Give us the
phone. But yeah, RJ, you're right. I mean, it's one of those things to where you look at ambition, and it's cool. Like, them making that game the way that it looks and everything that it does is fantastic. But if you can't have the game run correctly, then yeah, you done overshot. So Rise is, to me, still the better game. But hey, look, if they're gonna keep pushing it, I don't blame them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they put a lot of time and money in it.
Oh yeah, they definitely did.
It's the only game they know how to make.
It seems like it, and like we said, everybody get at Nintendo head, but Capcom got a lot of franchises they don't touch either.
Look, bring me back Section Z, bring me back Captain Commando, bring me back Forgotten Worlds, give me another Final Fight. I can run this list.
Dino Crisis.
It's a nasty list.
Dino Crisis is nasty that they have not done Dino Crisis. You got Resident Evil. You've made the Resident Evil remakes. Yeah. Dino Crisis is the same thing, just with dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, and Breath of Fire.
Yeah, Breath of Fire definitely could use a remake.
I mean, especially in this heavy era, what seems like everybody's doing crazy RPGs right now. I mean, come in here and get some of that love, and if you do it right, of course. But it seems like they're relying on their big three.
We just gonna be doing this all night.
Yeah.
But I've been championing the idea of Dino Crisis since Resident Evil 2 remake was announced. I remember that. I was like, man, come on. Mega Man Legends should have been finished by now. They haven't even gotten to that. Like, Capcom, finish off some of your damn stories.
What was the last, or better yet, let me ask this question instead, because y'all play Mega Man more than I do. I couldn't get into Mega Man, but I've seen the standard Mega Man of the 2D scroller. I've seen one or either two 3D ones, and then of course we had like the Battle Network games. What direction do you think they should go in?
I mean, they can still continue all of them. They're all different series,
right? So but I feel like they need to get one off the ground. Now, one needs to take flight.
right now, a good one to do would be Mega Man X9.
Okay,
because you got the X series. Same thing with the classic series. You got both the classic. Everything in these series is stuck. The only ones that really completed, I think, were Battle Network because that became Star Force. And yeah, I think that's it. Honestly, I think that's the only one that had a definitive ending. I don't even think Star Force has a definitive ending.
Wow, that's so to have that many running and none of them end.
You've got so many inconclusive storylines because they'll tell you bits and pieces of the things that happen between them,
right?
But they just won't give you those stories. Like between classic series and X series. Okay, Dr. Light and Wily built Mega Man X and Zero between the classic and the X series.
Okay,
then you go from the X series to the Zero series, which means that time period is jumbled up as all hell. So many things happened in that one section. You had the end of the Maverick Wars, you had the Elf Wars, then there was another war that happened. I was like, y'all had what happened? There's 2 wars here. What happened with all this? Then they had there's just so much, and then you go from the Zero series. There's a whole leap in time to Legends.
Right.
There's a full leap in time between this. Oh no, I forgot. ZX is after Zero. Then there's a leap from ZX. Well, no, Zero has a definitive end.
Okay.
So yeah. So the Zero series has a definitive end because Zero dies at the end of it.
Okay.
And Battle Network has a definitive end because that leads into Star Force. So Zero becomes ZX. ZX 1 and 2 happened. ZX 3 did not happen. And Legends 3 hasn't happened. And Legends 3 is supposed to be bringing Mega Man back off the moon, back to Earth. So I'm like, y'all had all this stuff that y'all did and set up, but haven't finished anything.
And that's the one I hear people clamoring about is Legends, right? So I've always, and kind of similar to what like RJ said, minus I'm pretty sure that's a typo, but I always thought that they would finally figure out the 3D aspect of it because there are only a few franchises that are really holding up the 2D platformer. And I don't know what you do with the game, honestly, because we had so many games that kind of emulated Mega Man after the fact. And it seems like either they faded away or they took off. I don't know what you do with that series, but the fact that it still has the love that it has is pretty interesting because I know like Mighty Number 9 got beat up. Like
Mighty Number 9 got beat up because Concept didn't do a great job with that game.
Right.
It's a decent game, but it's not to the level of what Mega Man turned out.
Okay.
Because I have it. It's okay to play, but plus it didn't fulfill several of its promises.
Yeah.
So of course we were gonna be mad about that. And then KG Inafune was trying to build another series. I'm like, bro, you starting the same problem that you already had. Because he was trying. What was the other one? Was supposed to be Red Ash that nobody ever got to. That was supposed to be the Legends spiritual successor. And I was like, oh, this is a name pun because in Japan, Mega Man Legends is called Rockman Dash.
Yeah.
So if you take Red Ash, you move the D over, Re-Dash. I was like, oh, that's a clever name pun, but could y'all like get something established properly?
How about y'all use some of that creativity and make a damn game?
Make a good game. And this is like they made Ninja Gaiden Z, and then I realized when I was playing that game, I was like, damn, this sucks. Like this sucks. Like Concept, can y'all come up with something good? Like like make something fun.
But I think Capcom needs that next IP to get on the status of Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and what's the other one they messing with? They're big three, and I'm blanking on the third one. But anyway, Street Fighter. There you go. So they because I feel like I was thinking about this today. There are characters that are still iconic, like they're iconic. They're right there with you got Mario, you got Crash, you got the Kirby's, the Mega Mans, the Pac-Mans, and only a handful of them are still, I wouldn't say relevant, but they're successful at this point. And to me, I really feel like Mega Man could do it, because I mean, we looked at we just got Metroid, right? So our Metroid Dread. So I mean, people still show interest in the scrollers. They could genuinely make it work, especially as a challenging side scroller, because I feel like that would be more on the challenging side. But having a story, having its own graphical art style, good story, I feel like they could pull it off. It's just they got to put the time in. And to me, I'm starting to think they just don't know what to do with it, and they're just gonna leave it as a household name and release collections.
I mean, they did Mega Man 11 recently, which that turned out really decent. So I'm like,
but see, you saying decent? I think people looking
for a first attempt at a new game in a long time, that's not bad.
Right.
Like, but when you consider the lineage of the series, you look at it, like, damn, y'all just let them just fall off like that.
Exactly.
Like, you just let your mainstay fall off like that.
Well, yeah,
you could throw him in fighting games and all that stuff, but you still need his games.
Yeah, and I put him in that same category of why are they not doing what .emu is doing with all this beat 'em up love. Capcom's missing out on a lot.
Honestly, a beat 'em up game based on the yes, that should have happened. But I could even see a Mega Man beat 'em up game happening. Like if you did based it on the Mega Man X series. But don't make X and Zero playable characters. Make them the legends that people are trying to catch up to, and just give you a whole new set of characters.
Right.
That are aside from, like, you got the Maverick Hunters, a whole organization. You only see 4 characters. like establish somebody else that did something. But you got X, Axel, Zero.
Right,
and then the support cast that sits around them. Like, what about all the people that are under X's or Zero's command? Like, what happened to all of these characters that are supposed to exist?
See, and like I said, you put me on the stuff that I'm not privy to because I don't play the game. So that would be interesting to see them go into full detail to not only rehash it, but to build it out properly. So that way, the people that have never touched Mega Man, this would be more or less of like a reboot to kind of get everybody acclimated or, familiar with what's going on with Mega Man.
I mean, they tried rebooting the series twice because they did Maverick Hunter X, and then they were supposed to be doing that 3D reboot that never came out. Wow. That was, I'm like, okay, well, y'all had the opportunity to do a lot more.
I was about to say somebody took a fall. Okay, so I think Jay going in and out, and then Andre gotta do daddy mode right now.
All right.
So all right, did you want to go to Double Dragon Revive or
yeah,
right,
let's go and do this. So they did arc system work. I guess you can call it a presentation.
I don't even know if you want to call it that.
Yeah. But they basically talked about Double Dragon Revive. Now, the thing about this one was they basically showed the same trailer they've been showing for the last 3 years, but they added the Switch logo. Not Switch 2 logo, but the Switch logo, which is kind of odd, seeing as how they've been talking about this for, 2.5 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we already knew it was going to be on the Switch.
No, we didn't. Because remember, the first two times it came out, they didn't show it, and people was asking them, and they was like, oh, well, we're looking into it.
I think it was just implied, but yeah, they never said it.
Yeah, because people asked them.
Confirmed it.
Yeah, people asked them, and they were like, well, "We're looking into it." I'm like, "What does we looking into it mean?" Like,
I'm saying it ain't a secret. Either you are or you're not.
We looking into it, man. We ain't got the money right now, so we try to figure out how we can get it
done. Well, I told Jay, I was like, I had a theory, kind of centered around a lot of things, as into why they may have just made this announcement. Because there's one side of it to where I feel like there's going to be a lot of companies that have games that are already in the works. They're going to probably hit you with a Switch 1 cartridge and then let you pay for the Switch 2 upgrade. I got a strong feeling that's what most are going to end up doing. because they probably are too far in the development process.
Yeah.
But then also too, to kind of tie into some of the interviews that's been happening centered around like the game key cards and all that other stuff. And Nintendo mentioned, hey, look, we're trying to help third parties sell on the Switch. And I think at this point, I think the third party developers may have given their marketing life into Nintendo's hands. Like, hey, don't drop anything, don't say anything until this part in this time. And what kind of like leads me to really like believe into that is you look at Ubisoft, right? Like when we look at the Mario Rabbids game, Nintendo told them, hey, do not drop that game until the next console. They were hard-headed and did it anyway, and the game didn't sell like they wanted it to. And then also the third one got canceled. Well, not canceled, but it didn't get approved by Ubisoft. So I think the narrative of third parties don't sell is being pushed so heavily, and some third parties genuinely do believe it. I think they're just going to rely on Nintendo to tell them when to start pushing that marketing out there. But for this game in particular, I think they were probably already going to do the Switch and was probably contemplating on doing something with Switch 2 and still will, but just in the form of upgrade and just give you that Switch 1 cartridge. Or if not, the Switch 2 cartridge that can do both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2.
I mean, that's the smart choice.
Yeah.
At this point.
Is either that. I mean, it could also be that they're trying to cheap out on spending the extra money on the higher read speed extra ROM carts. So that would be why they would do a Switch 1 version that could just be upgraded because it would be cheaper on them to do that, do it that way in the long run. Yeah. And they can then avoid the risk of having people be argumentative about not having the full game on the card.
There you go.
That's gonna happen anyway.
I would imagine this isn't a big game. I would imagine it fits on something simple.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like it's Double Dragon. Those games are never huge.
Exactly. So I mean, but yeah, I've always felt like, okay, if you're just now announcing it, you probably wanted to wait and see, like, hey, how much do we want to charge for the upgrade? How will we go and provide the upgrade? And we've seen games already do it. Like, Hogwarts Legacy did it. Even Room Factory, Fantasy Life I. Now theirs was a little bit weird because you bought the game and then paid $2.50 for the upgrade. I don't know what that was about, but but nonetheless, I think that's probably going to be the route. They're going to say, hey, here's the Switch version. So we don't want to forget about our Switch players. That's 150 plus million people. And then for those of you on the Switch 2, you got, better resolution. You got frame rates up to, let's say, 60. And it's on par with the PS5 and the series consoles. And you just pay us an extra $10 and bam, there you go. If not for free. But I doubt it's going to be for free.
I mean, look, they might even go the route of doing the cheap upgrade. But like, hey, look, we're gonna make you pay, but we ain't gonna make you pay $5.
Yeah,
we gonna pick a number that undercuts everything just to make it a little sweeter.
Make it look enticing. Yeah. So I mean, that will be my take as into why they just now saying something about the Switch version.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting because I planned on picking that one up anyway. So.
I mean, do you like what you? Well, I mean, granted, it's the same thing, like you said, we've already seen. But do you like what you've seen so far, or do you expect to see more?
I liked it 2 years ago, so I'm good.
So you didn't need to be sold no more.
Yeah, so I'm just patient at this point.
Yeah, I was just waiting. So
I'm like, curious, why haven't we seen more gameplay though? That's weird.
Because I think they were just waiting well, remember the first time they came out, Streets of Rage 4 came out right before.
Yeah. And they were trying to avoid the hype that Streets of Rage 4 had.
Yeah, because you're not gonna get away from that.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. But they better hope Capcom ain't secretly working on Final Fight 4.
It's in Street Fighter 6.
That'd be nuts.
Why you gotta be shooting me in the back like that?
Hey, look, he ain't wrong.
Because they shouldn't have put it in Street Fighter 6.
That is not Final Fight 4. That is Final Fight side mission.
Hey, that's the only way you get in a Final Fight. Yeah.
That's for Final Fight. That is awful for Final Fight.
It is, but at least they're using the title Final and actually following by it.
Yeah,
they gave you the final damn fight. Now that was it.
So, all right, because I'm having issues,
difficulties
today, and I know how to fix it. It's just gonna take a while. It's probably gonna kick everybody out when it does it. We're just gonna go on and so name of this is Summer's Here. It's over the sales. So we got crazy sales going on right now. And my question to you guys is, how would you fix how would you handle video game sale windows? Would you bring back the Player's Choice in 1999 games, but after a certain threshold is hit, like whether it be money or time, units sold or time, like how would you go about doing that? Because some of these sales, there's no way some of these games are making money.
No, there's no way. No,
there's not. They're not. Now,
you want to start off?
Street y'all just being mean and rude. I mean, if the smart, you gonna finish? Because
everybody hates me.
Like you're just a bystander at this point.
It's StreamYard.
I'm catching strays. I'm just catching strays. So yeah,
StreamYard did it to me one time, so I understand.
Yeah,
it was kicking me out my own.
Right. That's crazy.
But to answer the question in general, to bring back the player's choice or the gold or whatever they wanted to call it, because the names of those have changed multiple times over.
Yeah.
If I was to do it, I would be waiting for. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it within a year of the game coming out because it just seems too soon.
Yeah, it's way too
soon. You want to let it I'd say let it sit out there for at least 2 years. Okay. And if by that time sales don't reach where you're profitable or reach expectations, then drop your player's choice or what I can't remember what Xbox had called theirs, but just drop your special.
Platinum,
yeah, platinum. I think it was platinum.
Yeah.
Either way, you drop it then you can drop it at the $20 mark or $30 mark even, because we know stuff's getting a little bit more expensive, so it might have to be slightly higher, depending on the development cost of the game. That way you could feasibly generate yourself some profit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Because, I mean, when you look at... Because I think, honestly, it feels like Nintendo only falls in this particular category I'm about to mention. I would not leave it to time. My thing is on sales. If my game is still selling, I'm not touching it. But for most developers, their games start to, dwindle a little bit to where the sales are no longer there or the attention just isn't there for that particular game. So if it gets to a point, let's say I'm, like you said, 2 years in and my sales have taken like a hit, let's say they've been cut in half, then yeah, I'll start doing it then at the permanent price for that player's choice or platinum or whatever the case may be, or the greatest hits. One, to introduce the new price point, but also two, to give that game a second marketing push. I look at, we have quite a few games that are like that they just came out at bad times. Or either they just didn't get the attention because they couldn't be marketed properly. And this is what we talked about last night on Sandstorm's podcast with Konetsugami. It came out last year. It got all this, praise, and the people that played it love it, but it just got overlooked. And it came out during the summer. So it's one of those things to where, because it's coming out on the Switch too, it's getting like a new lease on life. But for those player choice games and the platinum games or whatever they're called, I think that'll be a big opportunity. Even if you say like, look, we were hot, we was on fire, and then this freaking game dropped and just knocked us off the radar. Like, all right, cool. Let's come with a new price point. Let's, entice people to get these games. Now it's up to you if you want to bundle in something new. I don't know what type of hit the companies take when they do stuff like that, to where they kind of do like these director cuts or collector's editions, and they're cheaper than what the original game came out as, and you're also getting extra content. I don't know how that all works out, but I wouldn't give you the extra content. I would say, hey, here's the base game cheaper, and the DLC is still available. But I'm not giving you everything up front as a business. As a consumer, I would love it, but as a business, I'm not doing that. Like, I gave you the base game, and the least you can do is go spend $10 to $15 on some DLC. The least you can do.
Yeah. And people have noted in the chat that typically, and that's true. Player's Choice or Nintendo Selects have been usually like bestsellers
Yeah.
that got a reprint basically. And RJH made a good point that for the Switch 2, Nintendo could have taken some of their bestsellers
Mm-hmm.
and reprinted them as like Nintendo Selects or whatever
Yeah.
for the Switch, because Switch 2 came out and there's a lot of people that didn't buy certain games.
Yeah.
So that'd be a great way to get more interest in them. It's like, especially if it's something that's already been a massive profit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and then also too, I mean, we're looking at something that is unprecedented at this point, to where a lot of Switch 1 games are getting bought and loved because the Switch 2 runs them better. To me, I feel like this would have been a great opportunity to call it Player's Choice instead of Switch 2 edition, but just like call it Player's Choice. And you look at games like one of my favorites, Bakaru. Like Bakaru didn't get like a physical release, but had it gotten a physical release, this would have been like, hey, Player's Choice. This was a great game. It didn't run the best, but now it runs the best. Go play it on your Switch 2, and this is what it is, instead of calling it like a Switch 2 edition. And if that's the name they go with, that's fine. But you know, bestsellers are cool. It's just also too, I think, games that were reviewed well and seen as a great game, but just got overlooked for one reason or another, whether it be marketing or a Horizon situation. I think, you know, you put a banner on that and you give it a new set of eyes at a lower price.
Horizon caught them lumps twice.
Back to back. You got packed out twice. Like that's crazy.
I feel so bad for them.
It's crazy.
Like how you in two situations when you come out a month before the game of the year.
But then in a very indirect way, it kind of happened 3 times. In a very indirect way, because if you think about Lego Horizons, people were like, "Oh, I'm just going to dismiss it because it's a Lego game. It's not a Horizon game." I'm like, God dang! Like you just like it's still.
That's some wild stuff though, because people love Lego games.
People get burnt out on Lego though, like they really are. As fun and as funny as they are, I think one of the key takeaways that came from this game, and then also some more recent Lego games, you're not getting a big return on collecting bricks. So it's like, all right, I'm not gonna collect 50,000 bricks and you're not gonna give me nothing. Like, think of Young Jeezy. I'm not collecting all these bricks for nothing. It's crazy. So but they got to get a bigger return. But yeah, I agree. Like, for companies to stay around, for them to even want to experiment, like, people got to support. And I'm all for it. If the game sucks, it sucks. It is what it is. But there are a lot of games that just are overlooked, or they're overlooked because of performance issues. Because like I said, I was sitting here, like, I'm looking at Lego Star Wars, the Luke Skywalker version. I think it's called, because that's more of like an open world-esque type Lego Star Wars. And it's like, what, $11 to like $12 right now on the eShop for the summer sale. So I'm looking at that. And they even got like the deluxe version too. That's only like 18. So
yeah,
it's there. And if you miss stuff like, you know, Saints Row, they got what, Saints Row 3 full package and Saints Row 4 re-election that now run better on Switch 2 at 60 frames per second, and that's $2.49. So like it's like it can get some more love now. I'm pretty sure they're not getting nothing from that $2, but still, the point stands.
Look, the point stands is that they try and get people interested in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why I brought that up. I just wanted to see like what would you, because look, they're the way some of these games cost.
Yeah,
they're not making money when they do these sales like this.
No,
not the way they're doing them. They're not making it like that. Like, people are like, oh well, I got it because it was on sale for $20. Yeah, but the game cost $300 million to make.
True. And then also too, to kind of piggyback off of like the titles and time frame, I think there genuinely needs to be a time frame, because right now you look at certain companies, there's no point of you buying their game day one, because you know they're gonna have a sale in a matter of like 2 months. Like, so why am I even buying from you if I know the game is gonna be on sale in 2 months? Why?
Like, you dropped it in April, you know the summer sale is coming in June or July.
Yeah.
Why would I even do this?
Yep. So, I know it's gonna dip, and it's never like a small dip either.
Mm-mm.
Like Ubisoft,
it's like 40-50%. It's straight crackhead price.
Ubisoft be getting up to 75, 85%.
That's disgusting.
I was like that is grossly disgusting how much y'all whore yourselves out.
Bad too. And that's why I'll be telling people I think the anger is in reverse, because like you get mad at like a Nintendo of like holding up their prices, is like, but the other ones whore themselves out and they don't value themselves. So the IP don't stay around, it don't sell like it need to sell, but yet they spend a bigger budget than Nintendo, and it shouldn't work like that. It really shouldn't
at all. All right, peeps. So this is what we're gonna do, because before I get kicked out again, we're gonna cut it here. And I do apologize, but I just don't want to keep going in and out, because I need to redo my router right quick, and I don't know if it's gonna kick everybody out. So we're gonna call it a night.
Dang. It was like,
I had a feeling that was gonna happen.
Me too. Right, I was like, let them make it, but I was like, nah.
StreamYard said no.
Not today. You got more to talk about.
Yeah.
You got more.
And we're going to call it a night. And we're going to forego the usual stuff. Just remember, don't forget to vote for the BIPOC Stream Awards, because that is the last day is tomorrow. So
last day of the month.
Yeah, please remember to vote if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Hopefully this will be fixed by then. So peace out, people.
Peace out, everybody.